Hello and welcome to the Nerd Lair. My name is Sean, and today on this DIY video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace your rubber button backings for your Nintendo DS Lite. It's inevitable that things will get worn down and need to be replaced, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it step by step, so let's get started. Okay, the first thing you're going to need is, of course, your Nintendo DS. You're also going to need your replacement rubber backings for the buttons and D-pad, and also a tri-wing tip and a Phillips head screwdriver. The first step in this process is going to be taking out the battery from the back of the battery compartment. Use your Phillips head screwdriver to unscrew the battery compartment door. It just pops out, and then pop out the battery just like that. Now you're going to want to unscrew two Phillips head screws inside the battery compartment, and make sure you're keeping your screws organized. That's the key to this whole process. From here, you're going to want to pop out these little rubber nubs that are on the back. They hide two Phillips head screws that will need to come out. Just pop them off just like that, and don't worry, they go back on really easily. Unscrew these, and again, make sure you're keeping your screws organized because they're all different sizes. Alright, so from here, you're going to take your tri-wing tip screwdriver, and there's going to be 4 screws on the back that will need to come out. They come off fairly simple. If you have a used DS like this, they might be a little tight, so make sure not to strip your screwdriver, and the back just pops off like so. Oh, the innards does not look like this the first time it's been opened up. I got this used in Japan, by the way. Next, you're going to want to take your shoulder buttons off. Do not lose that little bar in the spring, or you're basically effed. Next, you're going to switch back to your Phillips head screwdriver and unscrew 2 screws, mine only has 1, that are in the motherboard so you can release it from the brackets. Next, you're going to want to unplug the antenna wire and the microphone wire, just like so. Now we can lift up the motherboard. Be very careful when you're doing this. You don't want to crack the screen or rip that ribbon cable that's on the bottom right corner. And it's just as easy as pulling the rubber backings off and replacing them. Yeah, kind of a fairly simplistic, anticlimactic end to something that was kind of tedious in the greater scheme of things. Make sure you match up the shapes with the proper placement. The circle goes over the D-pad and the square one goes over the buttons, and the start and select have their own. If you want, you can clean the contact points with just a cotton swab and some rubbing alcohol. You did it, so now just reverse the process that we just did. Flip back over the motherboard and make sure the screen is properly aligned in the brackets. Plug in the antenna wire and the microphone wire and screw back in that 1 screw, yours will probably have 2, into the motherboard, securing it to the shell. And now, probably the most annoying part of this whole process is making sure the retention spring for the trigger is back in the retainer. And it might take you a couple tries, but you'll get it. And now all we have to do is put back the shell. You're going to want to make sure that your volume button was in the exact same spot that it was, or else it won't line up properly. Everything should snap back in slightly, just enough for you to keep it there while you start screwing things back on. Take those 4 tri-wing tip screws and screw them back in. Don't over screw them because it'll make this harder if you ever have to take off the shell again. Put the Phillips head screws back underneath the rubber nubs to be hidden away for another millennia. And then the 2 Phillips head screws that go onto the back of the battery compartment. Snap back in the battery, put the battery cover on, screw that back in, and, well, that's pretty much it. Let's test out Mr. Driller Drill Spirits. Oh yeah, works beautifully. And you know, this is a classic game. Anyone can do this. This is why I like doing these kind of videos. You don't have to take it to anyone to get it fixed. You don't have to pay except for the replacement parts that you can ultimately do yourself. And that's going to do it for this video. If you guys found this tutorial helpful, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because it really helps me out. I do stuff like this every week, so there's always something to watch. Go ahead and check me out on social media. Links are down below in the description, and I will see you guys next time in the Nerd Lair. Stay nostalgic.